They say money buys safety, but what happens when millions can't even buy a man another minute of life? This is the story of Charlie Kirk, a man worth over $12 million, a man who built his name, his influence, and his entire public image on control. Yet, despite being surrounded by what many called one of the most expensive personal security teams in the conservative world, Charlie still ended up as the victim of what is now being described as one of the most confusing and controversial security collapses in recent history. Charlie Kirk wasn't just another commentator. He was a brand, a movement in motion. His events drew crowds, cameras, and controversy. He understood the risks that came with that attention, which is exactly why he spent millions ensuring his protection. Former insiders claim his team was equipped with advanced surveillance tech, private guards, and multiple layers of on-site screening whenever he appeared in public. Every person was supposed to be checked, every door watched, every angle covered. That was the image, that was the promise. But behind that curtain of safety and strength, something else was brewing, something no one saw coming. Because despite the millions spent, despite the reputation for caution, it would only take one overlooked detail, one weak link, for everything to collapse. September 2025, Utah Valley University. Charlie was preparing for another speaking engagement, part of his ongoing campus tour. The audience was packed, energy high, and his team was confident everything was in place. Or so they thought. Witnesses described seeing his convoy arrive at the side entrance, surrounded by black SUVs and bodyguards in coordinated suits. Cameras flashed. Supporters cheered. It felt like another routine appearance from one of the most controversial voices in America. But behind the excitement, subtle cracks were forming. A security officer reportedly missed a scheduled sweep of one of the access corridors. Another guard was late to his assigned post, and according to an early internal memo, the secondary camera system covering the right flank of the auditorium was down for technical maintenance that morning. One minor glitch might not have mattered, but combined, these small errors formed a dangerous chain reaction. Charlie's team, trained to detect threats before they happen, failed to see that a familiar face was already inside the venue. That face belonged to Tyler Robinson, a name that would soon dominate every headline in the country. At that moment, no one had any idea what was about to unfold. Charlie's speech was about to begin, cameras were rolling, and within the next few minutes, the entire illusion of security was going to be shattered in front of the world. Because when protection fails, it doesn't fail quietly. It fails loudly, tragically, and irreversibly. And for Charlie Kirk, that failure would become his final chapter. Would you like me to continue with Section 2 now, keeping this same cinematic and investigative tone? By now, investigators and the public are asking the same haunting question. How did Tyler Robinson get so close? Because the truth is, he shouldn't have been anywhere near that building. Tyler wasn't just a stranger, he was someone who had been flagged before. Months earlier, he'd been removed from one of Charlie's events after a verbal altercation with security. The system was supposed to recognize him. His name was supposed to trigger an alert. Yet on that October morning, no one stopped him. According to early witness reports, Tyler slipped in unnoticed around 10:45 a.m., about an hour before Charlie's scheduled appearance. He was dressed like any other student, hoodie, backpack, calm expression. Nothing about him stood out. In fact, several witnesses told investigators he even helped a staff member carry equipment into the hall earlier that morning. That simple act of trust may have been what allowed him to blend in seamlessly. But the shocking part, sources close to the investigation claim Tyler had been studying Charlie's security routines for weeks. One anonymous insider stated that Tyler had attended multiple turning point events, always sitting in the back, always watching how security rotated shifts, how they responded to sudden movement, how they handled the crowd. He wasn't just angry, he was observant. And when you combine emotion with patience, you get something far more dangerous than a random act. You get intent. When Charlie took the stage that day, Everything looked perfect on camera. He smiled, greeted the crowd, and began his speech like any other. No one, not even his bodyguards, realized that Tyler had positioned himself within 15 feet of the stage, seated quietly with his backpack zipped shut. Then came the moment that would silence an entire hall. According to those present, the first loud sound wasn't what people thought it was. Some described it as a pop, others as a crack, followed by gasps and confusion. Panic spread instantly. Security rushed toward the stage as students dropped to the floor, and within seconds, chaos erupted. Tyler was subdued, but the damage was already done. Multiple videos taken by audience members flooded social media before law enforcement could even arrive. Millions saw those shaky, heart-stopping moments. Charlie collapsing, guards shouting, and terrified screams filling the auditorium. In a world that consumes tragedy in real time, the footage spread like wildfire. Investigators later revealed that Tyler's access badge wasn't official. It was a near-perfect replica, forged, printed, and laminated using materials easily found online. He had studied every detail, every access point. This wasn't a random break-in. It was precision, planned, timed, and executed with frightening accuracy. As police dragged Tyler from the scene, cameras caught his face, blank, calm, almost detached. When asked by reporters why he did it, his only words were, "He wasn't who you think he was." Those 6 words would ignite an even deeper storm. Because now people weren't just asking how Tyler got in, they were asking why. What did he mean by that? What had he seen or believed that pushed him this far? The truth behind those words would soon take this story from a tragedy into a full-blown national mystery. When the official autopsy report on Charlie's death was finally released, it was supposed to bring answers. Instead, it opened more questions and unleashed a storm that no one saw coming. According to the report, the cause of death was massive internal trauma resulting from a single gunshot wound. Straightforward, clean, clinical. But that's not what insiders were saying. In fact, just hours after the report went public, leaked documents began circulating online, supposedly from someone inside the medical examiner's office. And what they revealed didn't match the official version at all. The leaked files hinted at something strange. 2 wounds, not one. One consistent with the gun found at the scene, but another that didn't align with any known weapon recovered that day. The implication: someone else might have been involved. And that's when the story took a darker turn. One eyewitness, a student seated just 2 rows from the stage, told investigators that she saw a flash from the upper corner of the hall just seconds before Charlie went down, the same moment Tyler allegedly fired. It looked like a reflection, she said, but it came from the opposite direction. Another witness, a janitor who'd been outside near the service exit, claimed he saw a black SUV pull away immediately after the incident, its license plate covered, windows tinted. At first, these accounts were brushed off as chaos-fueled confusion, but then came the security footage. Parts of it were released to the public, heavily edited, and yet, frame by frame, online analysts noticed gaps, missing seconds, camera cuts that didn't make sense. In a world where everyone's a digital detective, the missing footage became fuel for one powerful idea: Tyler Robinson wasn't acting alone. The internet exploded with theories. Some said Tyler was manipulated. Others claimed he was part of a larger plot to silence Charlie, who, in the weeks before his death, had hinted on his podcast that he was about to expose something big. Even more unsettling were the leaked texts from Tyler's phone. Hours before the shooting, he'd received a message from an unknown number that read, "It's time, do what you were sent for." That one text changed everything. It made this more than a murder, it made it a mission. Investigators initially dismissed the message as fake, an internet fabrication. But during a forensic sweep of Tyler's phone, they discovered that message did exist. The number was untraceable. The sender was unknown. And when the FBI joined the investigation, they quietly sealed parts of the report from public access. That only fueled more outrage. What were they hiding? Why seal details if the case was clear-cut? In the following days, interviews from people close to Tyler began to surface. A former roommate claimed Tyler had been acting robotic for weeks, spending hours online, sometimes talking to someone he said understood everything. Another classmate said he'd noticed Tyler wearing an earpiece, not for music, but something that looked like a communication device. All of it painted a chilling picture. Tyler wasn't the mastermind, he was the weapon. The autopsy leaks, the missing footage, the untraceable text. Piece by piece, the case that started as a single man's outburst was now shaping into something far more sinister, something organized. And as the truth started to slip through the cracks, people began asking a question that made even the boldest journalists hesitate. Was Charlie Kirk targeted, and if so, by who? Just when everyone thought the case had reached its dead end, something unexpected happened. A new name entered the story, a man who claimed to have worked inside the security consulting firm that handled Charlie Kirk's personal protection. His voice was disguised, his face hidden, but what he said in a late-night interview shook the foundation of everything the public thought they knew. He claimed that days before Charlie's death, a last-minute change was made to his security team roster, a new recruit cleared through urgent authorization. That recruit, Tyler Robinson's cousin. The whistleblower alleged that Tyler gained inside knowledge about Charlie's movements, his schedule, and the one location in the venue with the weakest surveillance coverage. Someone gave him access, the source said. He wasn't supposed to know those things. Investigators denied this claim, but then another leak surfaced. This time, an internal security log showing an unregistered personnel ID logged into the team's system hours before the attack. That login was traced to an encrypted device, never recovered. The company behind Charlie's security refused to comment. And just like that, the story stopped being about who pulled the trigger. It became about who pulled the strings. Tyler Robinson's trial is still pending, but his lawyer has already hinted at a defense built around coercion and psychological manipulation. In one of the court filings, Tyler reportedly described voices in his head, commands he claimed were triggered by someone he only referred to as the handler. Whether this was paranoia or something darker, no one can say for sure. But the term handler has since gone viral, a symbol of unseen power, manipulation, and influence. Meanwhile, the FBI remains silent on the leaks, the missing footage, and the mysterious text message. Journalists who have tried to push the story say they've been advised not to discuss certain parts of the case publicly. One independent investigator's website was even taken down after she published a claim linking the untraceable number to a defense contractor. And here, where things get truly disturbing, the whistleblower from the interview. He vanished 2 weeks after going public. His last email to a colleague read, "It's bigger than we think. If I disappear, they already know." He hasn't been seen since. So now we're left with fragments, half-truths, silence, and fear. Was Tyler Robinson a lone gunman, a manipulated pawn, or part of something we're not meant to understand? One thing's certain, this story isn't over. Every time we think we've reached the end, another door opens, and behind it, another layer of secrets. If you've made it this far, I want to hear your theory. Who do you think really orchestrated Charlie Kirk's death, and what was the motive? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want me to dig deeper into the hidden files, leaked documents, and new witness testimonies coming in daily, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, and share this video. Because this investigation isn't stopping here. The truth is still out there, and the more people start asking questions, the harder it becomes for anyone to hide it.